In the first problem of the exam, we wrote a lexer for a new programming language. In the second problem, we're going to write a parser that'll create an abstract syntax tree for something similar to the lists and tuples that we find in Python. We're only going to consider numbers, but we are going to recognize the difference between a list that has brackets and a tuple that has parentheses. So in our parser, we have expressions. And let's say an expression can be a number, a list of expressions, and lastly, a tuple of expressions. So let's start off with numbers. Here's our parsing rule for the number expression. We simply take in the number and put it in a tuple where the first element is the type, following our convention in our web browser, and the second element is going to be the value. So here I've written out the function for tuple expressions. We have a left parentheses, this new thing called exp comma, and then a right parentheses. So basically our tuples surrounded by parentheses. Here I haven't defined this yet, and what this is going to be a sequence of expressions where there is a comma separating each expression. We'll define that last, and we'll also be using it in the list expression. Here I have a special rule that takes care of the case just a single expression surrounded by parentheses. In reality, we want our language to take this as just an expression, which is what happens in Python. In Python, if you wanted to make this a tuple of one element, you have to add a comma. Otherwise, we're going to set this element in our abstract syntax tree to be a tuple where the first element is the string tuple followed by the value. Here's my function for the list expression. It's going to be exp comma, which is that construct right up here, surrounded by brackets. And we don't have the special case that we have right here because we want our language to have singleton lists. So we want the character A, or I guess since we have just numbers, 5, to be a valid list. This is not the same idea as doing 5 surrounded by parentheses. We want that just to be 5. So we have the basics here. Let's just go to the code to finish it up. So here we have the problem description. And I filled in the solution. We have the number expression, the tuple, and the list, which are unchanged from what I did. But I've also added the expression comma, where an expression comma is an expression, a comma, followed by an expression comma, where an expression comma can also be just an expression.